Ngisho namanje inkosi enkantolo tokwami isignature la okwami ngenkani ngeforce ube ngiforce ukuthi angisayinela kube mina engangiforce inkosi enkantolo namanje ngiyasho phambi kwakho ngangeke ngisayinele lento.
And my Lord, all that happened from me, it's for me to sign. If I was
Still, the position was the same. There was no more water coming out of that particular tap.
manje njengoba uye wafakwa kwelinye isele nakhona lapho kwelinye isele kwakade kungenamanzi.
Inkosi enkantolo kunjalo inkosi enkantolo.
That is correct, my Lord.
Ngoba ngisho nje manje ukuthi mina lokhu ishawa ngiyibona iphuma amanzi liyasivereri.
Because the only shower that I saw having water, it was that one from Valeria.
And can you tell the court, was the toilet in a good working condition as well?
I-toilet yona yayikade isebenza kahle.
Le ngaphakathi ayingasebenzi yayisebenza le ngaphandle.
The one inside the cell was not in a good working condition. The only one that was in a good condition was that one outside.
Kwamanye amasela ngakwakufashwa ngebhakede.
And in other cells, we used to use a bucket to flush.
Thank you. Let us proceed. And then you were booked at 2242 on the 16th of June 2020 by Sergeant Mohani.
Bakubhukha ke ngo-2242 nge-16 zika June uSergeant Mohani.
Angisibonanga isikhathi inkosi enkantolo.
I did not see the time, my Lord.
And then there was an entry made on the OB books that you were detained without no injuries.
Futhi ke kwabhalwa nakwi-OB incwadi le eyesiphoyisa ebizwa i-occurrence book ukuthi wena uye wavalelwa ungalimalanga.
Angeke ngiphikisane inkosi enkantolo ngento ebhalwe nguye mina ngithi akayibhalanga phambi kwami nokuthi wayibhala kuphi angiyazi.
I would not dispute what was written by him, and he did not write it in my presence.
Ngoba inkosi
Yes.
inkosi
This court has reached the following conclusion. One, it rules that the confession made by accused number 1 was made freely and voluntarily without any coercion when accused number 1 was in his firm, sound, and sober senses. 2, the confession made by accused number 2 in respect of the said confession being taken by Mrs. Ronje, the magistrate, the court rules that it was made freely and voluntarily without any coercion when accused number 2 was in his full and sober senses.
This past judge, yeah, that is Judge Rata there. When he accepted those fake confessions provisionally. Initially, I played an audio where one time he was explaining how he was abused in prison. You remember that he was arrested on the 20th of June 2020. He stated that when he was in prison, he had no access to water, so he did not bath for several days. Can you hear that? He did not bath for several days, meaning that the state was emotionally abusing him so that athambe ukuze agcine seconfessile. So indlela istate esisebenza ngayo ukuthi okay, it's either bancisha ukudla or bancisha amanzi or whatever, but in his case bancisha amanzi okugeza. As umuntu, that hurts your dignity as a person ukuthi awugezile for so many days because uyindoda ezithandayo yena. But you come to prison and you are faced with this situation. So clearly the strategy of the police was to break down Tanzi until he's weak so that he can confess. That was the only strategy that they used to get the confession. And you also know the part that was played by that Njiako. He was just brought there to confuse Ntanzi so that the state can get that fake confession. We know that Bongani Ntanzi never appointed Mjiako. There is no appointment letter. There is no mandate from Ntanzi. So clearly, Mjiako was part of the state that was sent by either uGininda or his henchmen, angazi ubani, but one of those individuals that was working for the states. So there at the end, Judge Ratha saying that Ntanzi and Sibiya were not coerced to make that confession. He said the confession was made in their super minds. Clearly, this judge doesn't listen or he's totally biased. When the clip started, Ntanzi said it in his own words. He said, "The only reason that I signed that confession was because I wanted to save my own life." And then he further stated how he went on for days without water to bath. I think the first time that he was able to get some water and some accessories like Vaseline and so on, it was when he appeared in court for the first time, where he met one of his friends, where he requested this, "Can I have some deodorant, some soap, and so on?" Whereas in prison, he had no access to that. So that was emotional abuse aimed at weakening him so that he can confess. Yet Judge Ratha does not see that. How madoda balithatha ijaji elibheda kanje. He is totally biased. Clearly, a judge that is sober and unbiased would have seen that the strategy of the police was to get that confession from both Musibiya and Mohantanz. And we saw in court that the state has no case. So Gininda was relying mostly on those confessions in order to convict these guys. Clearly, you see, the confessions of Ntanzi and Sibiya was aimed at implicating the other three guys, Ncube, Mapisa, and Tuli. And obviously, those two guys that confessed. So, without those confessions, the state has no case. Because we saw that the DNA clearly worked in favor of the accused, because the DNA expert said the sample taken from the house did not link any of the accused, meaning that all 5 men were not in that house. That is why Gininda and the state made sure that they get those confessions in order to link these guys, because they had no case. And then they went to the star witness, Mr. Constable Zungu. Zungu was clearly used by the police in order to put all these guys at the crime scene. How do I know that? I know that because Zungu was not at that hostel on the day Senzo passed away. How do I know that? Clearly, Baloyi failed to provide the AVL record of Constable Zungu. Baloyi also failed to provide telephone records of Constable Zungu. If Baloyi had provided Zungu's cell phone records, then we would know where did Zungu's cell phone pinged on the day. If Zungu's cell phone pinged at the hostel, then it means it's telling the truth. But we never know, because the state said they do not have it. They are lying through their teeth, because they managed to get the telephone records of accused 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but they can't get the telephone records of their own. Constable Zungu, come on, man. We are not that stupid. Clearly, the state is hiding the telephone records of Constable Zungu, because they were going to prove Uguchi Zungu is lying. He was never at that hostel on the day that Senzo passed away. That is a fact, I'm telling you. And then the AVL also, it was going to show that the car driven by Zungu was never at any point at the hostel on that day. Zungu, we know, because his father, Absalom Zungu, told Daily Sun that his son only gave evidence in court because he was promised a promotion within the South African police. So Constable Zungu only testified against these guys because he was expecting something in return, which is in a form of monetary value, imali, through a promotion. And now we know that Constable Zungu is living a very nice life. He is under witness protection, meaning that he does not have to work ever again. He just sits at the house where he gets food, he gets free television, free clothing, because he gave evidence in favor of the state. That's the only thing that Constable Zungu is enjoying now. But we are lucky that his father exposed him, because he told the Daily Sun that his son confessed to him, saying that baba le nto ngayenza because ngathenjiswa ipromotion emsebenzini. Now baba ngiyacela ukuthi testify against uNtanzi and Sibiya ukuze istate sibe necase strong. But Absalom Zungu refused to be used as a pawn by his son and Gininda, because he's a man of honor, he's a man of integrity, he's a man of God. So Absalom Zungu was never tempted to take that offer. He told the Daily Sun that Brigadier Gininda even offered him a trip overseas as well as money if he testified in court. Now we know that those are lies. So the foundation of this case is built only on what? Lies and that fake confession. Because without that confession, there is no evidence that links these guys. None whatsoever. We were told that Usbi and Tanzi confessed. Kodwa if you read their confession, uyabona ukuthi lento le ayihlangani, because they mention Makimbi, but Makimbi is not before court because there's no such confession. They mention other names that are not part of the people that are in court. Why? Because that confession does not exist. And then Gininda tells us that some part of the confession is a lie. So now, how can we believe that there's a truth in that confession if there's some portion that is a lie? We cannot rely on that confession because we don't know what is the truth, what is a lie. So that confession should have been thrown out of court if we had a good judge. But we had this judge Fagazile Rata, because you can see that he is biased. He is in favor of the state. You must just see when Baloyi speaks, he never interrupts Advocate Baloyi. Uvaseleni ukukhuluma azaqede into afuna ukuyisho. But kusukuma umnisi or umshololo, you see the face of the judge changes. He always tries to find something wrong from the defense, and he constantly interrupts Mushololo. You must see Mushololo will never finish her cross-examination without being interrupted by Judge Fagazile Rata. So clearly, these men before court stand no chance in Rata's court. So my only hope is that once Rata finds them guilty, they will immediately file an appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein, where the case will be heard by 5 judges. So 5 judges, they cannot all make a mistake. So 3 of them have to come up to a majority decision. So we only need 3 judges that will say, no, Rata was wrong. So that's my only hope now for these guys, because I can see that Judge Fagazile Rata has already written his judgment, which is accused number 1 guilty, accused number 2 guilty, accused number 3 guilty, accused number 4 guilty, and Ntuli guilty. I can see that. So it's just a matter of time. So Mnisi on the 13th of October 2025, he will open his case, but this judge, I doubt that he's going to listen to anything. But however, Mnisi still needs to bring all those relevant witnesses, because they will provide evidence that will be listened by the judges at the Supreme Court of Appeal. So even though we know Judge Rata is going to rule against them, but they still need to bring those witnesses and take this case seriously, because once we get to the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein, that evidence will be analyzed by those 5 judges there that will be reviewing this case. So it is vitally important that Nisi brings Absolute Zungu, so that he can expose his son, Constable Zungu, so that he can expose Brigadier Gininda, the questionable policeman that has tactics which are questionable. So Nisi must make sure that he gets all these witnesses, even though Rata will find the accused guilty. It won't end there. The case will be taken to the Supreme Court of Appeal, where we'll get fair judges. So after Absolute Mzungu bring others, Warrant Officer Makubu, the policeman that opened docket 275, he will explain all the contradictions that are there in docket 636. He will explain why he chose to open docket 275. I can't wait for that day. Makuba told us that he opened docket 275, and then once he had done with his investigation, he took that docket to Advocate Baloyi for prosecution, but Baloyi declined. He said, no, we're going to charge these guys we're going to charge other guys that are in docket 636. But now we can see that there is no evidence in docket 636. All that we have in docket 636 is lies, lies, and more lies. So once they appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal, I'm sure Owen Downs, they'll be found innocent. And then he'll be released from prison because Downs has no previous convictions. Once that judgment comes from the Supreme Court of Appeal, then the likes of Gininda, Baloyi will then be investigated, because it will be proven that the state had no case against these 5 men, yet they proceeded to criminally charge them for the crime that they did not commit. So I'm hoping that the likes of Makubo, Absolute Mzungu, and our Joseph Chelis will live long, so that they can participate when the docket 75 goes to court, because that day will surely arrive at some point. And the likes of Shadrack Sibia will also have to account for their alleged crimes. We know that Shadrack Sibia was part and parcel of the people that were in the house on the day that Senzo was shot. Advocate therefore alleged that Sibia's role at the crime scene was to get that gun that shot Senzo Meyiwa. That is Advocate Def. He said he took that gun in order to protect Ulongo Twala, who is the real trigger man. How do you know that? Well, the statement by Ulongo Sihlope clearly states that Tumelo Madlala phoned him after Senzo was shot, and he told him that Senzo Meyiwa has been shot by mistake. Edujulobani Ulongo Twala ngephutha. It happened ngesikhathi uSenzo ezama ukuhlukanisa impi ephakathi kukabani kukaZandi noLongo Twala ngebhadi isibhamu saqhuma, bese impilo kaSenzo eshabalala kanjalo ngephutha. So if the people in the house had told the truth from the beginning, they would be out of prison by now. Longo Twala was going to be charged with what is called culpable homicide, which means an accidental killing of someone. And I'm sure Longo Twala was going to get less than 5 years, because if he spoke the truth, then the judge would have shown mercy on him because of that. We know someone like Oscar Pistorius, he shot and unalived his girlfriend, but he didn't even spend 10 years in prison. So if someone confesses, he would have spent even less time than Oscar Pistorius. But now, because they chose lies over the truth, they'll have to suffer for their choices. And once they are charged for that, there'll be more charges. For instance, like Longo Twala will now be charged with more than one count, because one, accidental shooting, lying, and that will fall under defeating the end of justice. And then the others that were in the house as well, like Aboke, Lizandi, and Senzo's friends, will also be charged with what is called defeating the end of justice because they made false statements when they signed that statement or affidavit. So it's going to be really hard for them once Docket 275 goes to court. Clearly, the 5 men that are before court are innocent. How do I know that? Evidence ayihlangani. Siyazi ukuthi isibhamu lesi ekuthiwa isikakadla Mncube. When Mangena went to collect it, he found it in an unsealed bag, eyivulekile, meaning that that gun was exposed for how long, only God knows. If it is found in an open bag, it means the barrel of a gun could have been changed, meaning that the gun has been tampered with. Therefore, the gun evidence can no longer be relied upon because the barrel of a gun could have been changed. We will never know. The evidence of Chris Mangena, I think I respect him for one thing, that he told the court the truth when he said the gun was found in an open bag. That was very important for him to say because we know now that the gun may have been tampered with. And Umchali, the one that gave him the gun, denies it. So Umchali as well, I believe he misled the court. And once this case is over, I think he's one of those that needs to be charged with defeating of justice. Because Mangena said it. The gun was on an open bag, but Umchali ufike enkantolo usho kunywa emphikisi. So baningi abazoboshwa once this case is over. Ngiyaphinda futhi baningi abazoboshwa once this case is over because of all the lies and deceit and fabrication. Akusibona uGininda nobalo kuphela that will have to account baningi, from Shadrack Sibiya, lamaphoyisa wonke oMkhane and so on, or Rapat bonke labo. They are part of this cooking le show bani u-Advocate Mngome Zulu. Wathi this case is being cooked. Kufakwa usawoti, isobho, amafutha ukuze kuboshwe abantu aba-wrong. And the man upstairs uGod uyabukela ukuthi oh nenza nje. But one day is one day. Wonke amahlazo awuvela. And I feel sorry for uBrigadier Ginina because yena lento yokuthola ama-fake confessions ayiqali in this case. Remember that in the case of Rhoda van Nkrecha, Ginina was also an investigator there. And then one of the accused Ginina of same thing. The police tortured him in order to get a confession. So yabona ukuthi there's a trend la ngoGininda ukuthi where is he is involved, there are coerced confession. The accused are being tortured so that they can confess. And then the other thing, the accused in the Rhoda van Nkrecha said he was offered 3 million to confess. And then in this Senzo case, Bwandans told her the same thing, that his family was offered 3 million if he confesses. So you can see that there are similarities wherever Gininda is involved. The trend of offering suspect money in return of a confession. That is a dodgy investigation by a senior policeman. If I was Madlanga Commissioner, I would want to hear from the people like Abo Gininda and Abo Sibiya to come and account for the fabrication in the Mayor case. But we know that in South Africa, there's no justice. You only get justice if you are lucky. That is why I'm saying Docket 275 will save the accused that are in this case. But other than that, Rata has written his judgment and he has found all 5 men guilty. So they'll all be saved by the appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein. But anyway, the case resumes on the 13th of October 2025, and we shall wait and hear what happens from there on. Thank you for